can you tell your secrets? What are like the nuanced things that you think you do that are different? Or
Our mentality is that everything the customer touches is a literal touch point. We aspire to be as great as those Michelin guide restaurants in the experience. And it's like, shoot for the moon and you may end up among the stars. Is it that way? No, I get annoyed because I walk in and there's like dust on the second shelf behind the bar. But that's because we care so much and we want to aspire to be that level of hospitality and cleanliness and, warmth and education. But I think that's a standard that you want to set because you want people to walk in and feel like New York City's fucking expensive. Our beers are expensive because they're expensive to make and we use high quality ingredients. And if someone's going to spend, $10 to $13 on one beer, you want it to be a great, memorable experience.
yeah. Welcome back to Brew That Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Tevlin, joined as always by Evan Blum.
Hello.
And today we have on a very special guest, two special guests from New York. I guess probably the fastest growing, coolest new brewery in New York.
I'll take that.
Love that.
And you guys definitely get the most attention. Like we hear the most about you guys, but I normally mess this up. TALEA?
TALEA.
All right.
Close enough.
I'm sorry.
TALEA is probably the second most common one we get.
Are there other
You know
ones?
what? I don't think anyone's confusing those names with any other breweries. So at the end of the day, you're going to get our beer.
I mean, I can't remember anyone's names, so that's closer than I've gotten to most people's names. Yeah. But Tara Hankinson and LeAnn Darland, welcome.
For having us.
Thank you for coming down. So you guys had, I guess we're down here in the market because you guys just expanded into Philadelphia.
Right.
And then you guys just came from a meet and greet session at Middle Childhood Clubhouse. Middle Childhood Clubhouse, cool new bar.
So pretty.
So delicious.
Yeah.
It was pretty too, but the food was great.
Food is good.
It's very green there.
Lots of green tile.
It's designed really
Have you
well.
seen the toilet seats?
Yes. I live at Washington. That's like my go-to bar.
Wow. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
I took a photo.
There's
It's on my
like
phone, yeah.
food in it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how probably more. I was talking to somebody about this, but like you don't normally take a picture of the toilet in a bar, so it's like that toilet has probably had more pictures taken of it than like any other toilet in the city combined, which is
That's
kind of an odd stat, but
I've taken a picture of Tapster's toilets.
Are they nice?
No, they have like the opposite sports teams. So like that's kind of funny. And then Love City's bathrooms. So
Did you guys go to Love City today?
I did, but not in the bathroom.
They
they have the best
Love City
bathrooms in the city. So.
Why?
It's set up perfectly. It's like they're all like private stalls.
Yeah.
And then
They had graffiti artists come through, like really like ramp these up. It's cool. I don't know.
everyone just like unanimously says they're the nicest. It's a weird thing, but it is by far the nicest bathrooms in the city.
Well, we have the nicest changing tables in the city. So
Well, I have not used your bathroom yet, so I'll have to go give it a spin, I guess. Okay, well, with that being said,
Yeah, great start.
So what do you guys bring? You guys brought Fresh Coast IPA.
Yes.
What is this? This is sour beer.
Peachberry punch.
Peachberry punch. So it's probably
Sun Up Hazy IPA and Al Dente Italian Style Pilsners. These are four of the five core beers that are now available in Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. So the only one missing is our light lager called Bright, which is just a really easy drinking, clean lager.
nice. And so you guys just have the 5 kind of flagship beers here. Is that what your guys' flagship beers up in all your markets are?
Yep, those are our core year-round beers that we offer everywhere. And right now it's just New York State, northeastern New Jersey, and southeastern Pennsylvania.
Awesome. And you said you just expanded into northeastern Jersey.
Yeah.
This past year also.
Yep. So dipping our toes in new territories.
Yeah.
So,
It's cool. I mean, you guys just launched in 2021, right?
yep,
You guys have 5 taprooms now,
we do.
and now expanding all into three different states. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. We're, if you're not growing, you're dying, right?
Yeah.
Although I did hear last week at the Brewbound conference that like flat is the new up. So we'll take that too.
You got to grow to be flat now.
That's true.
Is the reality.
The weighted average is way up if you are growing.
It's terrible. Can we curse?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, officially we started in 2019 by contract brewing our beer with a brewery based in the Bronx and going door to door selling. But the ultimate goal was always to have a brewery of our own in taprooms. So we opened our first brewery and taproom in March of 2021 in
Cool.
Williamsburg.
Great timing.
Well, better than March of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was challenging for sure, but we are actually very, very lucky with the timing because people were ready to drink when we opened our door. And so we basically went through construction in 2020 and just were kind of watching and hoping things would turn around.
We had the flexibility at the time because we were contract brewing to totally shut down our wholesale operation for 6 months.
That we were losing so much money on.
We were losing money when it was going, quote, well, because wholesale selling contract brewed beer is not very profitable because sales is expensive and buying beer from a production facility and acting as a wholesaler is not a high margin. So
No,
The
it's
margins
basically
are already
that.
super vet right on wholesale beer, and then you are just like an extra cog in the wheel with
Yeah.
has overhead that you need to cover.
the parking tickets alone and the amount of protein bars, those things are expensive. It really put a dent in our
$7.
Yeah.
Get a sandwich.
in New York City for sure. Yeah. So we paused that at the beginning of COVID and then focused on, finishing raising money and getting ready to do construction. Started construction, hired a real salesperson who's still with us. She's our longest standing employee. So she's 6 years now that she's been with
What's
us.
her name? Could we shout her out?
Melissa Brandt.
Nice.
She is from Philly area. She has a
cool.
484 area code. I'm 610.
Are you from Philly? Because I saw on LinkedIn that you worked at Devon Horse Show.
I grew up in Westchester near
Okay.
Longwood Gardens.
Cool.
So, yeah. I mean, respect like Philly and, if my life were a totally different life, I would maybe live here. But instead, I'm very much tethered to New York right now. But we are really excited about this market because it's such a beer-friendly city. In New York, getting people to get excited about beer is still work. Like you can have an amazing, Michelin one-star restaurant that has 4 beers on their menu. And it's like, you have 800 bottles in your cellar.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you carry more than, 2 imports?
It's like Stella, Maine.
Stella Maine beer, Chimay, or Orval,
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
Guinness. It's like,
Delirium.
I think we can do a little bit more than this with beer. So we still feel like in New York, the category is fighting for space, whereas in Philly, most people are into beer, and that's great for us.
Someone asked me the other day that wasn't from Philly, like, so what do you guys do in Philly? It's like, well, we watch sports, we drink, and we eat. Like, there's just not much else to do here. So I feel like in New York, there's just so many other options. It's like basically the center of the world. Like, beer just kind of gets lost in the shuffle sometimes where there's just not many other options here. So,
Yeah, it's tough. We have 5 locations, but we're competing with every new bar and restaurant that opens every week. And like, you look
So 5 new locations, and 3 of them are in Manhattan?
3 are in Manhattan, 2 are in Brooklyn. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, we have to give people a reason to keep coming back to us.
Yeah.
And we're like old newts.
We had Icarus Brewing on yesterday, and he was saying he was very impressed that like you don't see many new breweries opening up in Manhattan, and here you guys are having 3 tap rooms in Manhattan
Yeah.
in a 2 or 3 year span of those opening. That's
Yeah, the 3 were within a year of one another.
And the actual opening days.
Yeah. And West Village is like absolutely killing it. And Bryant Park is doing okay. And our Winnipeg station is breaking even, but it's tough. I mean, there's lots of new shiny things for people to spend their time and money on.
yeah. So can we get kind of into your guys' background? I mean, you guys have grown so quickly, so fast. I mean, imagine you guys had a little bit. I mean, you guys know what you're doing. A little bit. We figured it out.
I would say we love beer. We are trained business people before we became trained beer people.
Okay.
So the lens we're approaching this with is like of equally passion for the product and passion for running a really healthy business. And I think that, if you view Lagunitas, Stone, Dogfish Head as the first wave of craft beer, and then, and Other Half and Treehouse and Trillium as the second wave, and we're part of that third wave where you can't just open a brewery and expect people to fall in love with your product. That's not enough anymore. You really have to be smart about running that business. Not to say that any of those other businesses I mentioned are running things like it's a piece of cake, but they were entering the industry at a very different point in time. Yeah. Now craft beer is inundated. There are almost 10,000 craft breweries. Now there are more craft breweries closing than opening in the U.S., and so we have to run it as a business. We have to run it from a financial, analytical perspective. And so a lot of the other stuff we learned as we went. But I do think coming into it, like we both went to business school and we both had professional careers, and that gives you more confidence and also just honestly more naivety to the industry. Like the first time we did ride-alongs today with the 31st and Morton reps who sell our beer in the city. And I was telling them about the first batch of beer we packaged, which was Sun Up, which we have here today. Hazy IPA. At the last minute, we had switched from packaging a different beer for our first, from brewing a different beer for our first batch. So it comes to packaging day, and we hadn't changed over the can orders. So we got like shrink sleeved 15 barrels worth of shrink sleeved 12-ounce cans for our other beer, and then 200 trial 12-ounce cans for the beer we're actually packaging that day. So that day we had to totally pivot, and instead of getting 15 barrels of packaged beer, 15 barrels of kegged beer, we ended up with, 29 and a half barrels of kegged beer. And the issue for us is that we were a total unknown entity and we had no way to sell that beer. So instead of being able to walk around and give cans to buyers and sample and blah, 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 we had to go to a warehouse in Long Island City, 45 minutes away, go into a cold box, pump a keg. Well, we weren't pumping. We had a CO2 system. But the point is, carry growlers around, sampling people off of growlers, looking like total fucking amateurs. And did we know that made us look like total buffoons? Absolutely not, because we had no idea what a craft beer salesperson does. Well, now, 8 years later, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe people bought from us. We looked like idiots, but we just were really enthusiastic, and the beer was good. And we were selling the vision of the company, which wasn't even that one beer. It was about we want to grow craft beer. We want to get more women drinking beer. We want to get people excited about branding and storytelling and the experience and hospitality that can exist in craft beer. Sorry to go on a whole diatribe about it, but it's like, I really appreciate you recognizing that we are doing this strategically, but also I think sometimes that outsider's perspective was like an insulator to, we didn't clock how hard it would be before we entered the industry, because
we talk all the time. Sometimes craft beer gets caught up in its own bullshit, and then it's just like you get stuck in this glass case of this is how craft beer is supposed to be. And it's like when you have an outside perspective, it's like so much an advantage. It's very impressive that you guys started off only selling draft beer. Like that, my job right now is like what you guys were doing, just driving around all day trying to sell beer to people that had never heard of me. And getting it packaged beer into new places is much easier than trying to sell a draft account to somebody. So did you have locations that were they leaned on when you first launched? Like, did you know any bar owners, or did you were there specific accounts that you kind of look back on and be like, thank God, this person was able to bring in 3 or 4 half kegs, and it was.
No one brought in there for a half keg. I think it was a single keg or 2 case minimum and 1 keg was the minimum.
I remember the mall house in Greenwich Village was one of my first sales. And that was just a keg of Sun Up.
Mine was Molten Mold.
Oh, well, my classic.
Yeah, which is in Gramercy, and it's,
they're amazing.
This guy, Kevin, he's a sweetheart, really into craft beer, what we found was that the people who bought were the people who were so into the industry that they want innovation and they want those new brands and they're willing to take a risk, but they were only going to buy once. It's going to be.
That's how these bars work. It's like you can get in because they always rotate through.
Yeah. But Whole Foods was one of our first customers too, and we reserved all 8 cases or whatever we had for them. But we went to their regional forager the day after we packaged and pitched them. So that was good and gave us legitimacy and something we could rattle off when, suspicious buyers were asking who we were.
Like Whole Foods is bringing us on, or you go to a couple of key accounts and you're like, well, so and so bought.
Yep. It's compound.
City Swiggers, like all of the craft bars.
Yeah. It's fun.
Except the ones that wouldn't and still don't today.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I have some spots.
The highbrow ones that,
We're not legit enough.
yeah.
Yeah, no, no comment on. So you guys might have gone someplace today that gave me that kind of riffraff today. Not today, in the past. But we can move on. I'm just gonna get myself in trouble. But yeah, it kind of feels like you're a door-to-door salesman at some point. It's like, I'm hitting up like 15, 20 spots a day, and it's just like, no.
Oh, yeah.
One, and you're like, I made $30. It's like, then they start compounding, and it gets more and more. But yeah, it does get frustrating.
We cried a few times on the street.
Oh,
called each other. Like,
It was just you two to start?
it was us, and then we had a brewer who kind of helped us transform our, we knew what we wanted. We wanted hazy IPAs. We wanted fruity sours. We knew the hop profiles. We had a whole tasting, because again, there's no shortage of great craft beer in the U.S., but there's a shortage of a brand like ours that appeals to a broader audience.
Yeah.
So it's more like, okay, let's dial in the flavor profiles we think will resonate with this audience that we're trying to target, and work with a brewer who's actually a professional brewer to help us bring that to life. So now we have an incredible brew team. Tara and I were both home brewers. I was not a good home brewer.
I was terrible.
I was not good at
I hated
cleaning.
it too.
Yeah. But then you became a professional brewer.
I homebrewed like 4 times.
Victories.
And it was terrible. Yeah, I didn't homebrew in probably 10 years.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
No, exploding bottles in the bathtub.
Well, we're all attracted to the idea of it, right? It's like you're creating something that's crafted by you. You're coming up with the end flavor profile. You're developing a recipe and researching and how to get to that end flavor profile of that beer. I think the difficult thing is that homebrewing is not a commercial system. You can't temp control. You can't control what, OG versus final gravity is and blah, blah, blah. So I think commercial brewing is with the team that we have is so much more fun and interesting, because also we are very much, we have the concept that we work with on the brew team. They design and execute, but along the way, we're able to taste and tweak. And I don't think in home brewing, because of sanitation issues, you're not really tweaking along the way as much as when we have a beer that's, crashed, but we want to tweak the flavor profile. We're doing that every day.
Especially when you're home brewing in a New York City apartment or San Francisco apartment.
Yeah.
It barely has cold water and you can't even crash properly. But that's a whole...
Yeah, brewing is all about control. It's like taking this organic process and controlling it as much as possible. So then you can pull a lever to then change one little thing to then figure out what that does.
Right.
And then it's just cleaning and controlling. But you guys talk about how you guys wanted to launch this brand, I guess, a kind of woman-focused brand. I know you guys previously worked together, and very quickly you guys really spun up this business plan and launched.
Yeah.
Was this an idea that you guys kind of both had independently, and you guys sat down for a beer after the first time you met and were like, oh, wow, we had the same idea? Or how did this concept kind of come about? Because it would happen very quickly.
Yeah, it was quick. And looking back on it now, it's kind of crazy. But we both had so many things in common when we met. And when we met, we were in our early 30s. We had already had other careers, but we both left stable jobs to try to get into craft beer. And for us, both having MBAs, Tara from NYU and me from Berkeley, we wanted to kind of figure out if this was an industry we actually wanted to get into, or if it's just a passion that we love and maybe it should just be a thing we love. Yeah. So we kind of each found this company called Hopsy. I joined them when they were still in California as their head of finance, and Tara joined us when we moved the headquarters here to New York City, and her application came across my desk. So we were living these kind of parallel lives on opposite coasts. Mm-hmm. And so when I interviewed her to join the team, I was hell bent on getting her to join, because I don't have that many girlfriends. I've always been in male-dominated industries, so
You were previously in the Navy?
yeah.
Cool.
So for me to like click with another woman so well, and like Tara's just infectious. Like I tell this story all the time, but whenever Tara wasn't in the office, you could just feel it. Like it was just like, oh, Tara's not here today. So I like loved her. And then we would get drinks together because we were the only two women in management at that company. And over time realized we both had like obviously an entrepreneurial spirit. To our pay went just down to negative since getting our MBAs. But I wasn't like, I want to start a female forward brewery. And neither was Tara. But then as we started to like put a business plan together and create the LLC and figure out, okay, what is this first beer going to be called? What's it all about? We were doing research to build a business plan to pitch to investors. And that's when I was like, okay, there is a huge untapped market here that we can speak to genuinely. Mm-hmm. And like Miller tried to do the ad where the woman comes home and takes off her bra. And it's like, that's so true, but it's coming from Miller. Like it has to feel genuine, I think, to be effective. So that's really what we honed in on, because with 8,500, 9,000 breweries in the market at the time, less than 2% were owned exclusively by women, and no one was speaking to them. And we could be that different, unique voice in the market. Mm-hmm. So that's really what we started to build TALEA around. And in the beginning, it wasn't even TALEA, but everything was trademarked. So it was going to be a Weekender, but a wine company in Boston shut that down. So we had to make up our own name.
Weekender is forgettable. I know what TALEA is. You guys have a stranglehold on the TALEA market. So
yeah.
I also really like how you guys, or you have like your separate Instagrams for it too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's a really good idea.
What is it?
They have like their own like personal Instagram accounts that also collab with. It gets
With
more
the brand.
personality.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it's like Tav, TALEA, and
Not that I
TALEA.
post outside of the TALEA content right now so much, but
We should though. We got to work.
Yeah, but you got the idea down. That's a game changing idea. Like a lot of like places don't capitalize on.
Yeah.
So
If you talk, I'm not a wrestling fan, but Evan likes wrestling, and I guess like WWE does a very good job of like, they create their own Instagram accounts for the wrestlers.
Yeah.
And it's like they're like professionally run personal accounts. Mm-hmm. Then like,
I need that.
yeah.
Tell me what to do. Song and dance.
But I think adding the human element and a face and a name, I mean, especially because of the DNA of our brand and who we're trying to welcome into craft beer, which is new craft beer customers, it started as a business focusing on women because women at the time were the fastest growing market in craft beer. And now seeing, yes, that's true. We have about 70% of our reservations, parties, rewards members are all women versus, in New York, it used to be 70% men are drinking beer, and it still is in most places. But we have found that by focusing on making a space and flavor profiles and packaging and so on that at least includes that market, it actually draws in a much wider net. It's kind of like, James Bond selling martinis. Not only people who looks like James Bond are going to buy those martinis. It's anyone who wants to be near James Bond or look like James Bond or feel comfortable in the same place as James Bond. Stupid example, but we do find so we're targeting.
It's an actual brand, like a full encompassing brand. It's not just that you just say it in your,
We're not chick beer.
Yeah.
No, which is, when we talked to VCs initially, which we don't have any VC backers, but that's what they wanted. They were like, okay, so scale us nationally, you're skinny girl for beer. It's like, no, we don't want to pander to women.
You see it's like that pop up all the time, and it's like a flash in the pan.
Yeah,
They get a ton of notoriety. It doesn't really sell, and then about a year and a half, they fizzle out. Yeah. It's not just like female beers. There's also dad beer right now is like kind of doing that. I'm like, this is kind of the same angle as that. But yeah, it's cool. We talk about it all the time, like, and even you mentioned earlier in the podcast, like, it's not just about the liquid. Like, everyone knows how to make great beer now. We kind of, like, you know, like you said, it's just like Ken Grossman, like Sam Calagione, like these people came and like they taught us how to make great beer.
Yes.
We all know how to make it now. Now it's like kind of why people fell in love with craft beer. It's not just the flavor, but they felt connected to the brand. And if you're able to kind of build a brand that people feel connected to personally,
Yeah.
you know, that's what people want. So
Yeah.
Hey, brewery or small business owner, are you tired of navigating complex brewery accounting and taxes on your own? Staying up late working on financials and getting your finances in order after a whole workday? At the Beer Accountant, they understand the unique financial challenges of the craft brewing industry. They're a CPA dedicated to helping breweries like yours thrive, with services ranging from qualified bookkeeping, business tax prep, to strategic financial planning. Stop wasting time on spreadsheets and focus on what you do best: making great beer and running a small business, servicing over 50 breweries in 4 states. So if you own a brewery or small business, stop overpaying for reactive support and start being proactive with the Beer Accountant. Don't brew that IPA without this CPA. Visit beeraccountant.com to learn how their specialized expertise can help your brewery grow, profit, and succeed.
So you guys started doing the contract brand brewing, and then was the plan to always open up in Williamsburg? I mean, that's the coolest neighborhood, right?
It was not always, okay, we love Williamsburg. It was not always the plan when we built, before we released that first batch of draft Sunup.
Yeah.
Accidentally. You know, we
Can
spent,
we open this, by the way? This is the Sunup.
that one Sunup.
Sweet.
We had built the whole business plan out, and in order to, and yes, we were building it to fundraise and be able to speak to investors, but it was also to validate for ourselves. And that included all the data that we just talked about. Like 72% of women are frustrated by craft beer because they feel like they're an afterthought. Only 2% of the breweries in the country are owned solely by women. There are other husband-wife couples, or there's a woman involved, but we are one of those 2%. Oh, wow, we grew 50%. Now we're 3% of the 10,000 craft breweries are owned by women. Really making strides here. But part of that research was also like, what's the financial viability of this? And what we realized was that wholesale distribution of contract brewed beer, that model wouldn't work for us. It wouldn't support us. So it was always to do brick and mortar, not just because of the financial viability, but because it's the best way to do our version of direct to consumer. Like, we can sell a beer across a bar, we can upsell people, we can educate people, we can track their purchases. And because the 3-tier system is so screwed up in America, you can't really do that otherwise in beer. In wine, you can have a wine club and send it to, 40 states or whatever if you're based in California, but it doesn't work that way with beer. And we also knew that because of the beer e-commerce company we had worked at before, that shipping beer is just really not viable.
They're shipping liquid. It's one of the heaviest things that you can ship.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like, free shipping doesn't even make sense in that equation because the whole case of beer only costs $100 to the consumer. The margins aren't there. So it was always to do brick and mortar. We raised money from friends, family, some angels, but no lead investor, no PE fund, no VC fund, and signed a lease on our space in Williamsburg. We never thought we'd be able to afford Williamsburg, but this space is it's now our flagship brewery. It's 9,000 square feet, but it's not downtown Williamsburg, so to speak. It's
under the BQE.
A little on the edge of town. But it's very cheap for a retail space, expensive for a commercial space, and or like a warehouse space. It's expensive. But signed the lease, and then we thought we would be ready to start construction, but the pandemic hit, and we weren't ready, and we also needed to store up money. So we ended up getting more loans because turns out, like everybody says, construction takes twice as long and costs twice as much in New York. But we were able to do it, and at the time, it was just like a crazy time in our lives personally. Like, we both had kids in 2020 and very distressing circumstances for both of us for a number of reasons. But, I feel like we really look out for each other and did look out for each other. And LeAnn really took spearheaded the build out. And by the time everyone was getting vaccinated in February, March 2021, we were like finally ready to be open.
So you said you guys didn't have any experience selling beer.
Nope.
Did you guys? I'm assuming you didn't have any construction experience.
No.
So I was on the build out for the Victory Taproom downtown, and that was a very eye opening experience. It is like construction is like no other career. It's very different. It's very frustrating, but then like they just make something, which is also very impressive, and it's unique.
It's a constant, not battle, because it's a partnership with your GC.
No, it's not a partnership. That you're the client. You're paying them. They're a vendor.
But yeah, and we've continued to have like some hard lessons learned with every new build out.
Oh yeah, is it getting better though?
For sure. And now I think we're not so naive anymore. We know when they're bullshitting us. We know where we want to not spend top dollar on certain finishes or certain items, and where it makes sense to invest our time and money when it comes to the build out. So we're hopefully going to open a few more in the next 18 months or so. And we feel like we can do it for a lot less.
Cool.
And, yeah. But I love it. And I think
I love the build up.
we just get bored.
Yeah.
So like this past year in 2025, we didn't open anything. And we were just kind of itching to keep building because, like, if you ain't growing, you're dying. So, and like, we didn't quit our jobs and put our whole livelihood at stake to like just get to this point and stop. Like, we want to go to Philly. We want to go eventually to Boston and Massachusetts, and not across the country anytime soon. But I do think our brand can resonate with a lot of people beyond New York City. Mm-hmm. And it's a great place to build a brand and to prove a concept.
Also, getting in front of people is the best way to build the brand. And when you have a tap room, it's like they get in like the people of your brand, and it's just like fully immersed. It's not even just like you doing the tasting. It's like they are getting the full experience.
We don't put anywhere on our cans or really in our spaces except like in small print on the menu that we're female founded. But the amount of people who walk and be like, oh, it's obvious that a woman designed this is like, it happens a lot. So being able to control the experience of people drinking craft beer.
Can you tell your secrets? What are like the nuanced things that you think you do that are different or better or?
First of all, okay. Yeah. I mean, let's start at the most important place, the bathrooms. Okay, so
yeah, we already talked about this full circle.
The like dual toilet paper rolls. So there's not just one. So when it runs out, there's another one. Okay.
No graffiti in bathrooms.
No graffiti, no concert poster bullshit, no stickers.
No stickers.
Real soap, not $0 pink soap that's shoved in a Mrs. Meyer's pump. Do you know what I'm saying? When people take off-brand soap and put it in a nice soap. Okay, whatever. This is one of my things, okay? But they're clean. They smell good because we use air fresheners. Like, they're well designed. They're well lit. The light is flattering. And we tried to put enough in there that there's never really a line. There's always line because it's beer, so people are, constantly peeing, and that's fine. But I think, like, our mentality is that everything the customer touches is a literal touch point. So, like the quality of the label, the quality of the glassware, the quality of the coaster, what's on the coaster design, is the chair comfortable?
Fresh flowers at every table.
Is there enough ink in the printer that the menu is legible? Because how many times have you been to a place and like it's all streaky? Are you getting greeted when you walk in the door? Is the staff member wearing a TALEA t-shirt? Do they look well kept? And by well kept, I just mean like orderly, because they're serving food and beverage. They need to have nails that are like, it's just all these little details that some of them are like literally, okay, hygiene. But I think on a bigger picture, it's like, we aspire to be as great as those Michelin guide restaurants in the experience. And it's like, shoot for the moon and you may end up among the stars. Is it that way? No, I get annoyed because I walk in and there's like dust on the second shelf behind the bar. But that's because we care so much and we want to aspire to be that level of hospitality and cleanliness and, warmth and education. But I think that's a standard that you want to set because you want people to walk in and feel like New York City's fucking expensive. Our beers are expensive because they're expensive to make and we use high quality ingredients. And if someone's going to spend, $10 to $13 on one beer, you want it to be a great, memorable experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also like the types of customers we're trying to get, or the wine drinkers and the cocktail drinkers. And girly girls don't want to go to a beer bar on a Friday night that has, like, generally speaking, that has like barrels as furniture and taxidermy on the walls. Like, that's not their idea of like a good night out. And so
It's not cute.
I love it. Like, sure, I love a good casual place, but we're trying to appeal to this broader audience. And so making a space that is inspired by cocktail bars and wine bars and that level of experience without, like, slapping mint leaves or whatever, is what we've always tried to create. So that's informed a lot of and Tara worked at Wolfer Estate Winery for a bit as an internship, and we got a lot of inspiration from that operation.
Do you think because wineries, more females drink wine, and like, is that a factor of, like, they just kind of over the years, is it just like marketed like that? Like, it's just like wineries are more inviting for women, or like have you taken like aspects of that like your brewery almost feels more like a winery? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know if I would, like, I don't want to make grand sweeping claims, but what I will say is, like, women want to spend money on experiences, not just goods. So to make your space an experience where it feels nice and luxurious to get, like, seated and have someone giving you table service and bring you water in a nice carafe with nice glasses is way more of an experience than a transactional, slapping a credit card across the bar and getting handed a pint that's spilling over the side of it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I do think that there's a lot of historical sexist, misogynistic marketing that we're fighting against for beer. That, yes, wine has been marketed towards, like, the Pinot Grigio moms and the rosé and whatever. But I'm not so worried about the historical norms. We're just trying to carve a new path, which is like, you can have your experience with us. You don't need to go to the cocktail bar where everything's $23 for a cocktail. You don't need to go to upstate New York or Long Island to go to a winery to have a nice drinking experience. You can go to Williamsburg.
I've always thought that breweries are almost like the wineries of cities. It's almost like an industrial winery. Wineries, it's more about, like, just like the grapes and like the terroir, where, like, brew terroir, like, doesn't really exist. Like, you get your materials all over the world. So it's like you can have, it's more of like an industrial terroir, like, how you're making the beer. So I'm seeing more city wineries, but I think just breweries make more sense for a city.
Yeah.
Just kind of fits in more.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys started off making these fruited sours, right? So it was just the IPAs, the fruited sours?
Fruited sours. Yeah. We did that for 2 years until opening.
You guys were making them, wholesaling them?
Contract brewing them in the Bronx, and then doing our own. We were acting as the wholesaler, so sales and distro. And when we were ready to open up our doors, we were like, okay, we need to have at least 8 beers on tap, right? So we brewed a little more, and then, like, a month or 2 into being open, we were like, we need a everyday Pilsner, like a lager or something, because, that's what people drink. And what we came up with was al dente, and we had the brew team came up with it, created it. And it's been our best selling beer. Like, it's our best seller in wholesale. It's our best seller in taproom. And I think it's funny because we never set out to be like a serious lager brewery, but I think that it's a playful can. It's a playful name. The beer is delicious. It's really food friendly. There's a lot of Italian Americans and Italian American restaurants in New York City. And so it does really well with a lot of wholesale accounts who want a great draft beer.
The Italian style Pilsner is also a great style because it's a lager style, but it has the hops. Where like we always talk about for craft beer, it's hard for a craft brewery to lean on lagers because at some point lagers are just about, it's like a race towards zero. It's like who can make the crispest, most flavor neutral kind of beer that's like brewed perfectly, but like you need to add value back in your product. And like, you know, how craft breweries do that is adding hops. And this is like the Italian style Pilsner is like kind of the perfect kind of middle ground of both of those.
I do want to add that the person or brewer who came up with that initial recipe, I think, is now trying to start a brewery here in Philly. Her name's Ariel Schwartz, or their name is Ariel Schwartz. So I don't know.
Can you announce it?
I don't know. It's just what I've heard.
I don't remember the name of her or of their brewery, but I know.
But shout out to Ariel for
That's cool.
for coming up with this.
Oh, you need
recipe
to get
and the name.
Hopefully we can have them on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
One other thing I want to speak on, like your collaborations has always caught my eye, especially like when I was living in the city, just seeing like what other brands you've collabed with. So I think that's probably how I like would drink a lot of your beer from my perspective, like because like Mike's Hot Honey was one I know, Tony Chocolonely's, which that was a fun one. All of our friends have an inside joke with them, like on the chocolate bar, so that was cool. How do you come about like these different brand partnerships?
Usually they reach out to us or we DM them. But for us, it's like the best marketing tool.
100%.
And we've only done 2 brewery collabs. One's Dogfish Head and the other one is Ommegang. Everything
Not
else,
bad.
everything else has been CPG related. And like everything from Tabasco to LeVan Bakery,
Shake Shack, Olipop,
Flamingo Razors. And
What was the
Le Flare.
razor? What was the
I made a shower beer.
Yes, Black Sea Gale.
Yeah.
And they had a shower beer holder.
No way. That's sick.
It was like a blackberry lime lager. It's great. So it was like a women's shaving brand, but those reach an audience that aren't naturally following New York City craft beer or craft beer in the US. So for us to be able to leverage their followers or their following base, I guess, while also doing something fun and different, is like a no-brainer. And it's free, and we make money on the beer. They make money, like Tara always says, it's fun for these brands to, 1, have a physical space to do something in, and 2, to like see their product embodied in a beer. Like,
It's the coolest thing that brand is going to do probably all year. Like they're like, remember that time we made a beer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like Fly by Jane was another great one.
Fish and Fish Company.
So a lot of female founded companies,
Yeah.
a lot of CPG that are already speaking to the audience that we want to tap into.
Yeah.
So
Super
for
fun.
us, like, we don't have any really on the docket for 2026 yet, but we're at the point now where it's like, we'll just choose the ones that seem fun. When they come up.
I think it's also a good way to, like, you know, you were saying, okay, beer doesn't have the same terroir, but I would argue, you know, sure, maybe most of us are buying malt from the Midwest and we're buying hops from Yakima Valley, et cetera, but we really do focus on New York City or woman-owned brands for our collabs. And in that way, we can sometimes use their ingredients, and the heart and genesis of that beer is of New York City terroir, because we've had more like excitement and people showing up to buy beer for small beloved New York City brand collabs than we have for big national brands, which I think speaks to,
That's
like,
what you were saying before about like aiming small and it's almost bigger than just aiming big.
yeah, like we did a collab with Quincy, which is a olive company that does a perfect ratio of olive juice to olives. So when you make a martini, it's like you don't have, oh shit, I have a ton of olives left over, I have a ton of brine left over.
It's a problem.
Yeah,
Problem that needs to be
champagne
solved.
martini problems.
it was a problem
But they're
for
female
me.
founders. They're awesome. One of them lives in Brooklyn, and we've started buying their product. Like, LeAnn picked it up and bought it personally and was like, oh, I love this. We started buying it. So we made a dirty al dente. So it's like an olive brine al dente. And
Amazing.
we had like a line out the door a half hour before we opened for this event. And it was like, and, you know, other collabs with big brand names, you know, it's a great feather in our cap to be able to say we've worked with some of these other brands, but it doesn't get people to get their, ass out of their apartment, get on the subway, walk out of the subway to our tap room, get in there and pull out their credit card. The way, sorry, I know I'm not supposed to knock on the countertop, but my point is I think that there's something that's pulling at like the heartstrings of people when you work with a brand that's like, oh my God, I know that company. That's so cool. Versus like sometimes a household name isn't as, collabs are old news now. When we were doing those 4 years ago, I felt like we were trying to really change, but we weren't caring about what other breweries, what other brands were collabing with. We were just like, we don't want to collab with breweries. I want to collab with brands that we're going to actually learn something about that's outside of our industry.
Exactly what you were saying before with like the outside perspective. It's a lot of people come in and be like, they just start at the hype new brewery and they're like, yeah, but this is how you make a hype brewery.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, but there's 8 other people that worked at your same hype brewery that are trying to do the same exact thing you are. And like, yeah, you might have a cool Instagram account, but at some point everyone's going to realize that this is kind of just an AI clone of what has come up in the past. So I think the customer is able to kind of sniff that out. Like, is this brand original?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So you said you guys are going to grow some more? Yes? Hopefully?
Yeah.
Staying in New York and Manhattan. 'Cause you guys have 3 brands in Manhattan, which is insane. 3 bars in Manhattan, which is crazy. And you guys...
There's a lot of people.
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 I would love to know what percent of New Yorkers
what
know that we exist.
What are you...
It has to be like 2%,
Which is crazy because you're in, at least where I was in Brooklyn, like you're in every like bodega and
we
In
have
our hometown of Williamsburg, sure.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't get out in Manhattan that much.
I mean, no, we're in over like 2,000 accounts, but it's still like, many people have no idea who we are.
Yeah.
But you guys have a lot of attention. It's like we know a lot of people, and like telling people that you guys were coming on was like most people that like beer in New York know who you guys are.
Yeah, I would say most craft beer fans will be familiar with us.
But most people aren't opening up in Manhattan. Like you guys, do you think that people are just too scared to go in there because like the prices are crazy and it's just kind of, it's a zoo in there? Or do you think that
it's expensive? There are a decent amount. Like 6 Point has a few locations in Manhattan.
6 Point is part of a much larger company.
Yeah. But like Bronx, I think.
Shout out Connor, by the way.
No, Bronx Brewery closed their East Village location. Well, anyway.
And Torch and Crown closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the other one. They used to brew in like
even beer bars struggle. What was the one started with an R? What was this thing called? I know this is bad radio.
This is bad radio.
Bad podcast and whatever this is. I don't know. I can't remember the people's names. I don't know why I think I'm gonna remember this. But it's like even beer bars, like it's a tough market to be in.
Yeah, I mean the industry.
New York City for restaurants, which we are restaurants, but we are in the same way.
Do you offer food at your tap rooms?
We do.
Yeah.
Do you guys make it, or do you guys partner with people?
So like in West Village, we're right next door to Linda Street Pizza, which is like this crazy hype pizza place. So there's a line in front of our bar every day for their pizza.
Not for us.
So, but we allow them in to eat their pizza,
here.
and then they have to buy a beer. But otherwise, no, it's all what we're making in house, which is like nothing crazy.
Burrata toast,
burrata salad,
and we make pizzas at our Williamsburg and Cobble Hill location, and we have a sourdough starter. We make the sourdough pizza crust, but I think the food is the complement to the beer. And even in our Manhattan locations, beer is the best seller, which New York City is a cocktail and wine town. So I'm proud that our product mix is actually still really strong towards beer.
In West Village, too. Like when I think of West Village, I don't think of craft beer.
No, I think of martinis, espresso martinis, dirty martinis, Cosmos.
girlies.
Yes.
We're trying to speak to
But
them.
I mean, I think it's just a hard market.
Really would love for Taylor Swift to come.
that'd be sick. Yeah.
I mean, we get celebrities there.
We do, which is fun.
But I think our goal.
We have to play it cool, you know, be cool. Be cool.
It's not a big deal.
No, not really. They'll like tell us in Slack and they'll like,
Well, I'm like,
what?
who?
I just left. I
Or
just
I'm
left.
like, wait, J-Lo's husband?
Oh, wait.
It was Aaron.
Tara, like, what did you say to A-Rod?
I said
A-Rod?
J-Lo's husband?
He used to, no.
You
but
didn't
were
say
like,
A-Rod, you said J-Lo's husband?
you were
Yeah.
like huffy with them about their napkin usage, right?
Does A-Rod drink craft beer?
No.
Or try to order a margarita, which we don't have.
Oh my god.
I think he had
I love him, but he's so hateable.
Hugo Spritz, I think is what he had.
He ordered. He just walked in, just assumed you guys.
He was
know
with the group,
Margarita,
but
yeah.
I don't. Look, we're right next. We get like a lot of sports players. I mean, I'm just saying they're so tall. They must be professional athletes. But anyway, going back to our goals, I think that we have a really good formula down now, right? We've done this 5 times, and we actually had a pop-up tap room for like 6 months in 2022 right outside Grand Central. So we've really done it 6 times. And, you know, we know how to make the menu. We know how to do, we're good at hiring now. We know what construction should.
How big are these tap rooms in Manhattan? Are they like just kind of like little corner bars, or are they like
1,200 square feet.
that's not small?
Back of house. And then like,
Like capacity of 75 or so.
It's still a good sized
Philly?
bar. There's like I mean, Philly is the king of just 50-person, you know, dive bars. Like that's our whole market here.
Yeah. It's great for private events too, that size.
Do you guys do a lot of those? I think in like the post COVID era, kind of every restaurant realized like, you know, this is huge.
well, I mean, New York and Philly are both in, you know, a state of very iffy weather for the majority of the year, right? So like, can we book out a wedding or a wedding welcome party for thousands of dollars, or just chance that hope it's not going to rain that
on
Friday?
Saturday, yeah.
And then
It's
50%
lucky, right?
of our revenue is going to be out the door because the subways get messed up when it rains and people don't have cars in New York City and they're not going to walk 10 blocks from the nearest subway when they can finally get there. But
Learn these things.
yeah.
But we're looking at the Upper West Side, hopefully, and then another one downtown,
That's cool.
and then we'll see.
Nice.
We need money though, so that is something we don't have right now.
I feel you. But how has the expansion been? Because was this your first kind of really outside home market expansion into Philly and Jersey?
Yeah, we've been in upstate New York for a few years now, and the volume just isn't huge.
Yeah. Are you self distributing in New York, or do you have a wholesaler?
We have a wholesaler.
Okay.
So we're with Union Beer in the city, and then the Sheehan family of distributors up north. We're with Northern Eagle in New Jersey, and then 31st Morton down here.
Cool.
So we always knew how incredibly important it is to have your own reps in the market, and you can't just rely on distributors to rep us as well as we could rep ourselves when they have 50 other brands, of course. And so that's kind of like our next focus is like, okay, we're in Philly, we're in Northeastern New Jersey. Let's invest in people in those markets. And same with upstate New York. We don't have anyone up there. So it's like, of course, we're never going to be top of mind. And so investing in those people and just expanding our footprint within those states, that's kind of like our next 2-year focus for wholesale. But traction in Philly has been awesome. We're slowly growing.
I do see you guys at a lot of bars.
Good.
And 31st is a great,
Yeah.
great distributor.
And they came to talk to us like in 2021 before
We're like,
ever. Yeah, no.
you're not equipped for this.
So they've kind of always been on our radar. But stuff. I mean, we were turned down by a handful of distributors in other states. Like there's a lot of craft distributors now that aren't taking on new brands. So it's becoming
Yeah, and like an age where like they can just have your rights. It's like crazy that like they wouldn't just be like, yeah, I own you, and like
Right.
But there's just so many breweries that they're like, no, we don't even want to deal with this right now.
Well, and there's other products out there that are getting a lot more hype and interest and focus than beer.
Yeah.
So if they can pick up an NA or an RTD or Surfside Stateside, oh my God, they're blowing up, then of course they would do that over like another craft brand right now. And so we totally get that. But it's even more important for us than to show traction in the markets that we are expanding into so that we can get some credibility and data to show potential new distributors. It's tough.
One thing, like LeAnn oversees wholesale and the brewery. And I think one thing you and your team have done really well is, you know, we're not taking for granted or pushing any one product. We've really used the last like 5 years or more of selling our beer to kind of see what lands, and we try things. And I think that kind of drove our distributors a little bit crazy for a while, but it was also like,
You guys are so new though. Like they have to understand that you guys are still growing.
we need to test the market and we need to test the format. So we'll be moving to 12-ounce cans soon because that's the way we believe the market's going, but we also believe it's what's best for us as a brand. And I think like having that feedback loop for you and your team of like, you know, these are the accounts we want to be in because we want that visibility, or we want that, you know, landmark account that's going to be able to be the one that we can go into the next one and say, hey, we're in blah, blah, blah. But also then, you know, the Whole Foods, the Go Puffs, the Trader Joe's is huge for us. It's helped us fundraise. It's helped us get leases because people are like, oh, you're an established brand.
And so when you do the partnerships, it's like, you know, you obviously sell a lot of beer to them, but like the people that aren't in your shoes and like don't understand the beer market, when you're saying like I sell at like Three-Eyed Cats or like some other random name for a bar that like nobody has ever heard of before, they're like, even though it might be a big deal because it's a big craft account and it's
Right.
they're like, yeah, that means nothing to me. But you tell them that like you sell in Go Puff and they're like, oh my God, like you're
Must
you're
be
crazy.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we're in Target.
Are you actually
Volume. Yeah, but
That's cool.
Not a good pull through, right?
yeah, it's not huge volume like Trader
Do they
Joe's and Whole Foods.
do they even move like Target moves a lot of beer though? Like
Decent amount.
really?
Well, in New York, you know, retailers can, like groceries can easily sell beer. So I think that's where like Whole Foods doesn't sell wine and spirits, and neither does Target. So they co-merchandise beer with, you know, entertaining and that the specialty part of the grocery store.
Okay.
So if someone was going to do a one-stop shop for like their tailgate party, it could be at Target. But, you know, Target customer is more of a suburban customer mindset in my mindset. So it's, but I don't know. We have a lot to learn, but I think that for what we've done so far, it's like trying to be pretty agile and not make, I would say like our goal is like, we're never saying we're right. We're always trying to gut check and even challenge the assumptions we make of like, is this even the right flagship beer to be putting out there? Let's just challenge ourselves.
THC. Should we do it?
That's the conversation right now.
We just had a conversation. Whenever this comes out, hopefully people will be against it. I think I'm going to spin up a brand. And even if it's not, I'm not selling a lot, the way the laws are going to go is that it's going to end up being an extension onto the liquor license, and wholesalers are going to get the distribution rights, I think. And if you don't step into it, it's then like everybody else does it. So it's not even just like you want to do it to like get that money. It's like if you don't do it, then like imagine if you didn't make like IPAs or something. Right. It's like you're almost just like forced into it. And it's so different. I'm trying to just kind of dip my toe into it, just to kind of like some available kind of when it happens. But yeah. We just had a like a THC guy come on yesterday and talk about kind of like
Interesting.
his perspective of it. But yeah, because it's weird because they just passed, like when the government opened back up, they said it was like going to get banned. So then like I'm talking to like other people and they're like, why are you even doing that? Like it's going to get banned. I'm like, it's not that it's going to get banned. Yeah, it's just it wasn't regulated before. They need to like regulate it and then they can figure it out.
There's way too much money that's already in that market. It's not going to get banned.
Yeah.
It has so much momentum that it's like you may as well tax it and make it something, you know.
What they're talking about is like putting a cap on it of like 5-10 milligrams. I think 10 milligrams is entirely too much.
There's like 20 milligram products in the market.
There's 1,000 milligram one.
Okay, is that just, I mean.
That would kill an old person. It's like if you
I'll put you into hibernation.
Exactly. I had this straight to the loony bin. It's if they need a cap at even just like 5. Like I get it. You can smoke a lot of weed. You can handle your weed. Then you just drink 3 of them. Like it's not a big deal. You don't need like this like absurdly strong. The difference, yes, alcohol is like there's inherent dangers with alcohol, but the one safeguard with alcohol is that straight alcohol tastes like shit. So it's like you can't like have something that is that strong without like you not physically being able to drink it that quickly. Yeah. Where like these THC drinks, it can go to like 0 to 100 and like you can't even taste it. It's just like taking a pill.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It needs to be like way more strict. But I think strong regulation on it. But because alcohol brands are set up and we're used to the regulation and we're used to paying our taxes and following the rules, I think like we're set up and the government's going to like kind of drop it right in our lap.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, that we can't. I got bigger regular fish to fry, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested in it all. Like adaptogens, lion's mane, ashwagandha. I don't know.
They got this
I don't
brand
know
right now.
Placebo effect, but I feel like I feel it.
They got this brand. Have you seen Breeze?
Yeah.
Like $18 a can. It's like the only thing more expensive than a Surfside at the bar. And it's like, all right, it's a mushroom drink that's not legal. Like,
I haven't seen those yet.
They're everywhere. And it's like, it went from being like alcohol is so regulated and like you go in a bar, you can only get specific things. So now it's just like alcohol is still very strict, but you can just do whatever you want if you're selling something else. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're always challenging. Wondering if we should expand
the
product portfolio. But
what's been your, I guess, first like experience of Philly? Like, what's the coolest thing or the biggest learn?
History.
Yeah,
like we mostly drive, which is weird to me, but
like driving around.
Yeah, driving around to accounts.
If you live in the city, you have a car, which is a very odd thing for somebody in New York.
Yeah. But it's just so many buildings are so old and beautiful. And like the guy I was with today from 31st and Warden kept saying like, oh yeah, they took these old bricks. Like he talks about all the buildings as bricks, which I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I also think people are just like so nice and real and down to earth.
I've never heard someone say people from Philly.
Oh my God, everyone today was so nice.
They were nice to me too.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just love like the New England Northeast coastline. I went to school in Maryland, and so it all kind of feels connected.
Mm-hmm. Do you go to the Naval Academy? Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, what's the town there?
Annapolis.
I was just there.
I love Annapolis.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
So I
had a drinking town.
Yeah. I had to choose between the Air Force Academy and the Naval Academy, and I chose the Naval Academy just
Where's the Air Force Academy?
In Colorado, like outside of Cold Springs, I think. But there's no town. It's like a drive away from any town. So I chose Annapolis because
you're a badass.
No, because the downtown is awesome.
You totally
it's beautiful and old and historic, just like Philly. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I love learning about the neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. Like every place we went, it's like, what neighborhood is this? What neighborhood is this? So I don't know. I love it. I would move here.
The tin ceilings, like the old tile, and I feel like there's a lot of more preservation and appreciation for the historicness. It's like you're trying to make everything brand new.
Where I'm from here, and I'm just like, we need to push it forward. It's like, look at New York. I feel new stuff all the time. Let's go.
Keep it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like.
Do you see any difference in what the different beers sell? As far as your flagships, are there?
Well, first of all, everything's cheaper here.
Okay.
Which is
same man.
Awesome for us as consumers. I think like the biggest difference I noticed was just that, you know, in several places it's like the beer list was as long as the wine list. The beer on draft list was as long as the wine list by the glass. And then there was a separate beer can list that was as long as the cocktail list. So it's like 50% of the menu items are beer, which is not common.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also like just knowing where we stand in the places that we do visit, because we're not local Philly, and this is a very prideful city in a good way, and we don't want to take over local draft lines or local placements at all. We want to be considered like, if you're going to swap out a larger national brand, then consider us, because we're like somewhat close and we focus on quality and we're female owned and have great beer. So I think there's not a lot of room on menus in the bars that at least I went to today, and I totally appreciate that. But just figuring out like where we could fit in, and a lot of places it's the sours, because like people have their lagers and IPAs chosen and picked, and I get it. That's probably 80% of their sales. So
There's a lot of breweries here that are just. I think a lot of people look at whoever the coolest new brewery is, and there's a lot of people that just like look at Human Robot and be like, we are going to be Human Robot. And I'm sure in New York, everyone was like, we are going to be other half.
yeah, or Human Robot. Everyone in New York also wants to be Human Robot.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people just trying to, it turns into a lot of slop. And it's just like, a lot of that is just like, all right, everyone's trying to fit
Yeah.
a peg in the same hole. Like, we need to switch it up. And there's not many people making sours here.
And I think
anymore.
I always speak to like sour and the Gen Z market go pretty much hand in hand right
Flavors.
now.
Yes. About the flavors.
So there's a big
The
opportunity.
female demographic was like the largest growing demographic for craft beer, but you said it was. Is there new largest? Is it Gen Z? I mean, Gen Z is apparently not drinking craft beer, but
Yeah, I haven't looked at the recent stats. I mean, all the stats, sorry, when we went to a conference recently that was all beer marketers and insights people, their takeaway was like, once Gen Z reaches 26, 27, they're drinking at a normal rate. They're just not binge drinking like us millennials did when we were 21.
it was a competition.
I mean, we had some chip on our shoulder. We had something to prove.
Yeah.
I drank a lot of Natty Light in college. And then it's kind of, that generation got totally screwed by the pandemic. So I don't blame them for whatever they're going through. I just view it as our job to try and get them out and being social. And hopefully social responsible drinking will come with that. And we're a premium product, so we're not expecting someone to be, taking home a 4-pack of 16-ounce cans and drinking them all in one night.
Yep.
We're thriving off of like our hospitality experiences, and most of the accounts who are buying us are higher end accounts too. We're not cheap,
But Gen Z is very experiential based.
Yes,
and maybe
exactly.
they are willing to just not, like you said, pound 12 Natty Lights. Maybe they are willing to spend the same amount of money just on 3, higher end beers.
Yeah.
It's a better experience.
And an adaptogenic ashwanga lion's mane. Ashwanga. Is that a yoga thing or
Ashwagandha?
isn't that
Is that a root or a mushroom or what is that?
Isn't it a...
I thought that was a type of yoga.
No, that's...
I thought it was a mushroom.
I'm gonna read it.
Lion's
It's a
mane.
mushroom, right? It's a mushroom. It's supposed to be to make you chill. Lion's mane makes you focus. Listen.
Oh God, I'm all mixed up.
But listen, I can't sleep now without
When it's like the
my
uppers
1
of
milligram THC gummy. It's my sweet spot. Ashwagandha. You're thinking of, is it Ashtanga? What's the yoga?
So I think it's more like I think the main theme from other brewers we talked to is like, beer's down. That sucks.
Plant.
But let's keep
Let me see
the
it.
course, because I think people will come back around.
Very common.
People will recover from the economic uncertainty of the last, 15, 18 months. And people will go out, and then it's like brewery's job to keep people interested and excited and engaged and like put out great quality, high value stuff. It doesn't need to be cheap. It just needs to offer something for the price point.
Is the value. We are the craft beer is the premium products. We just need to add higher value to the customer.
Yeah. When we see people complaining about price on like a Google review, I'm like, great. If that's their biggest complaint is that it's too expensive.
Take it.
It wasn't that the bathrooms were dirty. It wasn't that the beer was oxidized. It wasn't that the server was mean. I mean, maybe they're not from New York and they don't get the egregious prices that we have to charge, that everybody charges, because it's freaking expensive to run a business there. But
It costs like $20 to even get into the city.
Right? Yeah. Tell me about it. Deliveries. To our taproom.
Parking tickets, $100.
Oh, I collected a lot of those.
Yeah.
I had a car down
Got
there.
2 this week.
2 this week.
Yeah.
At some point, it's like, well, you're not paying for a parking garage, so it's like, okay.
My husband and I are like, this keeps up. We just got to find a garage. It's the struggle is real. It's expensive. But yeah, what we learned at the startup where we met too was like, if people aren't complaining about your prices, you're not charging enough.
Well,
But we were backed by Heineken.
That
So.
there's not even enough customers to complain about you. Like you're going to
Right,
get
yeah.
customers regardless. What was that started? It was a beer company.
It was called Hopsy.
It was like Untapped.
No, so we would source beers from local breweries and then repackage it into these like bag and bottle 2 liters.
Okay.
And then people would buy a draft countertop device for their homes, and we would ship them the beer, and they would have draft on tap at home. So we started as growler delivery in Berkeley, got backed by Heineken. That's when we moved the headquarters to New York City to be closer to Heineken and White Plains. And then it was their technology, the draft system in bag and bottle. They got sued by ABI. It was a whole thing. But it was essentially like beer e-commerce. And so Tara managed customer service for 35,000 customers across the U.S. And I was the head of finance. But it doesn't exist anymore.
Got it.
we-
What didn't the Anheuser-Busch plant in Newark just sold, right?
Yeah.
Was that to another brewery?
No, not that I've seen.
Oh, I think they're turning it into a totally different facility.
Like external skiing mountain or whatever they have out in Jersey.
There's other
Sort of manufacturing thing.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's a shame, though.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of AB, but it was
Jobs.
It was cool. Yeah. They said they would ship people to move, start working at other plants, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know how realistic that is.
Maybe a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not 475 or whatever.
Yeah. So what size is your brewery?
So we have a 20-barrel system, 3-vessel.
Cool.
And then all of our fermenters are 40s.
Cool.
And so we have 13 fermenters, 2 brights. And this year we'll do around 7,500 to 8,000 barrels.
Wow. That's a lot.
It's a lot out of our tiny place in
And we
Brooklyn.
got-
So we're glad to
What
be
years old?
outsourcing some of that. Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of growth in a tight space with a small team. But we have such an incredible team. Like, our brewers are amazing. So everything's just perfect.
Everything is perfect.
No. But it is now so much more about, like, we have 85 employees.
Wow, that's amazing.
We can't do this with just us two. And so we have the most fun job, I think, of just and the most stressful, but the most fun of steering the ship and expanding and trying out new products and, working with the brew team and our wholesale team on what do we bring to market.
And what were the taproom teams of
Yeah.
let's reorganize the menu and let's see if we put this here and this there, is that going to sell more? Or can we don't really do choose your own flight. We do set flights to kind of be a guide for the people who've never experienced our beer before.
To not have mutiny from our bartenders.
Yeah, I mean, during a peak period, having a pick your own flight is just
Do you like flights?
I mean,
As everybody should.
I mean,
He doesn't like flights. I love
Well,
flights.
the best part about going to wineries is the flights.
and breweries, because
Fast.
I would never order an 8% lactose sweetened pumpkin beer, right? I have one on a flight because a 4 or 5 ounce pour is, I'll drink whatever of that,
Yeah.
I love
it's a lot of glassware, but you know what we did? We picked one glass that serves 90% of this stuff that goes across the bar.
What size is your glassware? You have
It's like a wine glass, right?
18.5 ounces, so 12 ounces of liquid and then head.
Do you have any larger glassware for lagers or anything? Or just you have the one glassware? Because that's what I'm trying to buy a bunch of glassware before the year just so I can spend money. So I'm trying to figure out now, do I go 16 and 20 or do I go smaller than that? There's some 14 ounce glassware that's really nice looking and it's cheap. So maybe I could do that and just kind of get better margins. So I'm I literally can't decide. There's so many options. I'm just like, I need to pick something. And by the 12 ounce, you like it? At 13 ounce?
That 16 ounces of beer is a lot for our target customer.
Okay.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah.
Like I'm more of a split a 16 ounce can person.
Yeah.
Multiple 16 ounce cans. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, you don't taste. Yeah.
and I think that it could get warm in the summer if it's a big pour.
Yeah.
And I think that for the price point, like there's also the mental barrier of like a 16 ounce beer. Are you going to get another, you could slice that either way. Or are you going to get two 12 ounce beers? So the kind of like demand curve and the pricing is all, we're taking guesses at it. But overall, I think our staff is happy because it's basically a stemless wine glass. So it's very stable on a tray when you're bringing it to a table or you're busting a table.
It looks nice.
It looks
beautiful.
nice.
Yeah, which is a
nice
more
on that.
important aspect than I think the ounce is.
Yes.
Like, it's the aesthetic.
It looks good on the flight
It's
board.
good for aromas because it like,
They don't break that often.
Oh, you put your flights in those? In the same ones you just filled up us? I like that idea.
so the labeling we have printed on the glasses indicates to our bartenders where to pour for a flight.
That's cool.
Hot pour. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Streamline.
Yeah.
Sweet.
At least it's a good place to start because it's like one less thing to worry about. Oh my God, we're short on 16 ounce glasses, whatever you know.
Yeah, makes things much easier. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to announce? We've been here for a long time.
Have we? We just got started, I thought.
Just getting fun. I'm sorry. We'll have to have you guys back on.
Thank you guys for having us. We're excited to be in Philly, obviously.
Yeah, welcome to Philly. We're excited to have you guys.
Maybe a tap room someday. But it's a lot of great ones.
Yeah, but you guys have a cool brand, and it's really cool to show Philly that sort of brand. I think it's something Philly lacks a little bit right now. So,
Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And if anyone from Philly is coming up to New York, we have a location right outside of Moynihan and Penn Station, literally across the street from Madison Square Garden. So you only have to walk like 100 feet outside. So
No. If you get over 7th Ave, just get over it.
yeah.
Awesome. And we can find you guys it's at TALEA Beer
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Yep.
And our website, and we have a beer finder on there. You can plug in the zip code you're looking at, and it includes Philly. So you
Sweet.
can see what accounts carry us in off-premise and on-premise.
nice.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
And then you can follow us at Brewdat, at the Brewdat Podcast, at Space Cadet. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Thank you.